I'm walking in or towards taking the path to Muir Trail Ranch, and I'm gonna try to get a ride home. My feet hurt. I miss my family. It's beautiful out here, but I'm ready to go home. I have officially walked away from the John Muir Trail. And it kind of like could sound sad to say that. You know, people could say you quit, you bailed, you stopped, you failed, you're walking away. There's so many things you could say about this. And I know I'm making the right decision. As I've been processing it in my mind, I don't think there's one reason. I think there's a collection of several reasons. And I want to be able to fully process those out, but I need to just tell myself, man, I did great. I did like 8 days of backpacking. I did 17, 18, 19, 20-mile days through huge elevation changes. I didn't take the elevation into consideration. I live at sea level. I don't feel bad. I know I'm making the right choice. Wow. It's been 64 days since I walked away from the John Muir Trail, and I'm actually really thrilled to give this update and kind of this final video for this series of my attempt at hiking the John Muir Trail this summer. On Saturday, August 10th, it was day 9 on the John Muir Trail for me. I woke up at Sanger Creek, and I woke up really in this cognitive dissonance. And there was kind of 2 primary reasons. Let me share the first and lesser, and then the second and greater. And the first was I had finally connected with people. I anticipated hiking this trail alone. I thought I would hike alone, but I really hoped that I would link up with some people, and that happened. And day 8, if you watch that video, was a day where I was hiking with Austin and Gabe pretty much the whole day. But I woke up in the morning on day 9 feeling pretty bad because I feel like I had pushed Gabe to hike my hike. I was the one who wanted to push 20 miles a day. I was the one who wanted to keep going. And I really should have slowed down and enjoyed the journey more and focused less on the destination. And so when we woke up on day 9 at Sanger Creek, Gabe and I got started. We were headed towards Muir Trail Ranch. We were gonna drop some trash and look for some more food in their buckets. Side note, their buckets are amazing. There was some really good stuff there. So as I was hiking down these switchbacks to get to Muir Trail Ranch, it was about 3 miles from where we camped. And I just really came to the conclusion it was my time to leave. And that conclusion had really been stirring in me. Gabe had said something to me the day before. He said, your heart's just not here. You're not focused. And he was right. I was missing my family deeply. Those blisters that I had got a couple days earlier were just so painful. And really the third thing was, this was my sabbatical trip and it wasn't joyful anymore. I mean, I love hiking, I love backpacking, but I missed my family. And my kids were gonna be starting school in just a couple days, and so I knew I needed to get out. So that morning, I walked down to Muir Trail Ranch, and from Muir Trail Ranch, I found out that it was a 5-mile hike, walk, whatever you wanna call it, from Muir Trail Ranch to Florence Lake. On that 5 miles, I prayed, and I just prayed. I said, God, would you please get me home today? And I had some ideas in my mind of what that might look like, and it was a Saturday. I thought, well, if I don't get out today, I could probably hitchhike and get a ride tomorrow. Because you need to remember, at this point, I have no cell phone service. And so I do that 5 miles, I get to the ferry stop on the other side of Florence Lake, and there's this group of 4 people there. And I start having this conversation with them. I hear about where they were backpacking and fishing and all of that. And they said, what about you? And I started to tell them about this John Muir Trail adventure. And I said, I need to get home. I've just decided it's time for me to go home. And
I said, are you going south? Where do you live, right? And they kind of clammed up a little, and one of the guys says, I live in Santa Barbara. And I was like, I live in Ventura. And the other 3 people in his group are like, we live in Ventura. And I just couldn't say the words quick enough. I said, do you want to drive me home? And they were like, yes, we do. And I just feel like it was this huge God story. It's this God story that I've been able to tell time and time again of God giving me a ride home from the John Muir Trail. It's crazy. And so we go across Florence Lake. I get in the car. We're having this great conversation. We stop at Shaver Lake. We get a burger for lunch. And as we're driving home, my wife texts me and says, where should I pick you up? And, so I asked the family, hey, you guys, where do you want my wife to pick me up at? And they're like, we live in Ventura. We're going to drop you off at your house. And I just couldn't imagine meeting a nicer group of people. And here's the really cool thing is I've actually seen this family a couple times since. It just makes me smile thinking about them, their hospitality, their love, trail magic. There's just something different about hiking with people when you're out on the trail together. I woke up on day 9 at Sanger Creek at 6:30 or 7 in the morning. And at 8:07 p.m., I was getting dropped off at my house. And I have to let you know, it was kind of this huge dichotomy of being in the woods for so long and then coming home to my family. And my kids are like, Dad, what are you doing home? Because they don't know me to quit things. And I just told them I missed you guys. I needed to get home. I knew that I needed to come back and be here with you. As I've had these last 2 months to process my John Muir Trail hike, I would be lying if I said I didn't think about it almost every day. And I've looked online many times. I've thought about getting a permit next summer and coming in at Florence Lake and going to Mount Whitney and finishing, and we'll see what happens. One of the things that really came to my mind is if I do this hike again, I want to do it with my son. I want to do it with one of my family members. I just think that would be so cool to have those ongoing memories to share with them. So really what I want to do to you is just say thank you. Thank you for watching this video series. Thank you for following with me on this trail. I thank you for the encouragement, the comments, all of that. One cool thing that you could do if you haven't yet, would you like this video? Would you subscribe to my channel? And then if there's any gear that I used, check in the link just down below. Like if you're hiking the John Muir Trail, because just some great companies. REI is a great company. I really liked their Flash Air 50-liter pack. I loved my Outdoor Vitals quilt, that jacket that you saw me wear in pretty much every video. That was a daily use for me. My Outdoor Vitals 40th tent was great. And what I'll even do is I'll put a video over here for all the gear that I brought on the John Muir Trail. And if you want to see that, you can. And then I'll also put a video over here to day 1 of this trip. So just in case you missed it, you can get back to the very beginning of these videos. Thanks so much for being a part of this journey and watching it with me.